Now, President Cyril Ramaphosa will unveil statues honoring struggle stalwarts and former ANC presidents Nelson Mandela and Oliver Tambo in Durban today. The eThekwini municipality says the bronze statues, which cost approximately 22 million rand, are part of its efforts to boost tourism. Silethiwe Ndlovu is live for us from there now. The Metro insists that this is a necessary initiative. It seems some residents, however, will need a lot of convincing. Just talk to us about why. Good morning, Silethiwe.
Absolutely. Good morning, Arabile. And that convincing actually started 8 years ago in 2018 when the eThekwini municipality announced that they had approved the two statues. 8 years later, it seems as if the municipality still has to defend that decision. But a couple of weeks ago, during the media briefing that was held by eThekwini Mayor Cyril Ramaphosa, he stated that there were no service delivery funds that were diverted into the project. In fact, even 8 years ago, that was the same sentiment that was shared by the municipality. They stated that there's no funds that have been diverted from service delivery in order to fund the project. But a number of people on social media, ratepayers, residents, state that they feel as if funds have been redirected, but also that service delivery should have been prioritized in place of the two statues. And I'm going to bring in now someone that shares that same sentiment. Thank you very much for your time. I just want to start off by speaking about the stance that you've taken regarding the two statues.
Okay, we understand that it's an honor to have our late President Mandela and our Tambo statues for 22 million. But that 22 million could have been used for service delivery, because we have homelessness here, we have unemployment, we have so many issues with service deliveries that people are without lights for days, without water. If you look at all our informal settlements, their toilets don't work. They are urinating on the street. So I don't think our late President Mandela would have really did this, spending 22 million on a statue for himself, whereas you could have spent 22 million on his people. I think it's important that we now need to know, where did this money come from, where did it go, how did 22 million be spent on these statues, because people are suffering in eThekwini. And remember, eThekwini has said their funds are limited. They have no funds in treasury. So why do you spend 22 million when you could have put 22 million into the funds of treasury and helped with service delivery?
I mean, someone might also look at the city and say, well, Durban is it's a tourist destination, and the city says that they are expanding tourism. What do you have to say to that when the municipality says that, well, this is a strategic plan in order to enhance tourism? Okay,
let's look at Ushaka Marine. Let's look at Moses Mabhida Stadium. They all are basically white elephants. How much of revenue have they brought in? That should have been taken into account. If these kind of things are not bringing revenue into the city, why are we still doing it? Why are all this unnecessary expenditure being used where it can be used for the people? And homelessness is rife in eThekwini. People are on the streets. And I think, the priorities are all totally wrong. And what's happening to all the money that has been lost through unnecessary expenditure? Is that being recovered from all our corrupt officials, etc.? Is all that money recovered? We don't know. All we hear is cars being impounded, houses being impounded. Where is that money? Is that being shown to the ratepayers? How much of revenue has come back into the coffers? We don't know.
Thank you very much for your time this morning. Iman, that's Ish Pralad there speaking to us about the stance that he's taken. And I can tell you, he's not the only one that shares that sentiment of, feeling as if money should have been directed towards service delivery. Of course, we know that in the city of eThekwini, there's quite a number of people, even at this particular moment, that are still struggling with service delivery issues such as water shortages, Iman.
Silethiwe, thank you so much for that. I'll just close it off here as well. And I suppose there'll be many question marks still at play in and around that conversation around those statues. But the reveal happening later today from President Cyril Ramaphosa.